What's up, CougConnect subscribers? Jake Brandon here, your host of the CougConnect podcast, asking you to hit the like and the subscribe on your way in. And tonight, this is a special Hoops edition. We're through exhibition games, getting ready to kick off real, actual college basketball again for the first time in a while. And I got two of my main hoops experts with me in the studio tonight. And it's my pleasure to introduce Skyler Halford and also Kevin Humpherys. How are you guys tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
Dude, I'm good, man. I'm pumped to sit down and talk hoops with you guys.
Let's go.
So, Kev, how you doing?
Good. I mean, I know hoops, but I definitely did not play or know hoops at the level of Skyler Halford. So
no, we brought in an actual
I'm excited
pro.
to learn. I'm excited to learn.
Yeah.
And, bounce some things off a guy who, trains kids for a living and did it at BYU.
At the highest level, man. D1 program and shooting. We looked it up. Craig, you remember the numbers? It was crazy numbers.
43% from three or something.
45 from the field, 40.3 from three, and 86 from the line. Something in that range.
There you go.
So,
I found out at the alumni event that I'm 10th all time still. I'm still top 10, but I'm every year I think it just goes back.
Starts to get whittled away.
People just get better and better, and I'm I'll be in the 80s here pretty soon.
You just needed one more year to solidify a top five.
I know. And then what can you do? You just get old and forgotten.
Yeah. Which I feel like the program is a different program. I mean, just being the Big 12, which is the premier conference for college hoops, but everything has kind of changed since your era to now. Do you feel like you look at it, don't recognize it even?
No, yeah, it's I mean, just to think about back when we were playing, WCC to Big 12. I mean, if you would have told me that when I was there playing in the WCC, I'd have been like, what? Really? In that amount of time we would get there? I mean, it is shocking just saying that out loud. If I were to think that back then, it's almost like a whole nother era, WCC and now Big 12. It's super exciting though, as a fan and as a previous player to watch, playing against the best teams in America. That's all you can ask for. So.
You get Kansas, U of A, Texas Tech, Houston, all these guys. Yeah. You get a matchup against all of them. They're going to be probably all in the tournament and making noise. And it's just another game on the schedule is penciled in there for us. So.
Absolutely. I know it's going to be a blast. I mean, it has been already, but it'll be fun. This year's going to be especially fun, I think. Yeah. I think a lot of people are anxious to see how we do.
Yeah. We're the only team in top 10 in hoops and basketball at this moment, at least.
Hoops and football. Yep.
Hoops and football. Thank you. Have you watched football? Have you been enjoying the season?
Watch every game.
What's your takes on the football team?
Oh, I mean, Bear Bachmeier is incredible.
Right?
That's the thing that comes to the top of my mind. I'm just how a true freshman doing what he's doing on the stage he's doing it on. I'm whoever's got that kid's mind, and training that mind, that kid's bulletproof up there, because that is not an easy task for a kid that age to be able to do what he's doing.
Dude, I think the best comp I've seen is the Terminator, where it's kind of almost like the Matrix, where you just download the playbook to him and then he goes out without emotions and just does what he has to do. It's drag guys in the end zone, or the second half of the last game, just throw the ball a bunch to receivers in space. He can do it.
Yeah, he makes the right plays. I mean, I'm a basketball guy, but I love watching football. And he just seems to make the right plays, the right decisions.
We had Trayson Bourget, one of the quarterbacks, on right before you got here. And he's dude, he is balling, and he's balling at a level that even I didn't expect when he first got here. And Trayson was a freshman quarterback who had to play most of the season at Western Michigan.
Yeah.
He's I had a limited playbook going, and he was similar. He missed spring Bear missed spring. He had a similar kind of road that Bear had. And I had a limited playbook going until almost the last few games of the season. He's Bear, from the moment fall camp ended, he's had the full playbook at his fingertips. What he's doing, people don't realize is crazy.
I know. I would love if somebody did some documentary on that where you just follow Bear around and you just see what does he do when he's at home?
He's barefoot. He's barefoot. He's walking around. I'm grounded.
I know he's grounded, right? I've seen all that.
Yeah, he's playing the guitar, and dude, he loves Settlers of Catan,
bro. And that's my favorite board game.
You and Bear
that's my favorite board game.
Need to connect. He would tell they shut it down for the weather. He was just tubing in the Provo River. He's just here, and then it was, and then he was in film in the playbook. That's it. there's no distractions. There's some things like, Catan in the river to kind of like relax.
To keep him
But other than that, it's just film,
so
playbook,
smart.
throwing with the guys.
Can't get caught up too much in the moment, right? Can't be
Yeah.
too serious about anything, or else that can go bad too. But yeah, anyways, he's been just really fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Kev, what's your overall high view take of the football season?
Just doing what they're supposed to do, and we got Texas Tech and Cincinnati murder.
Big
we got
games.
we got the gauntlet. We're in the middle of the gauntlet right now.
Yeah.
And last season they got during the gauntlet, and hopefully just split just win at least one of those games, and you're for sure in the Big 12 championship. So that's
true. That's true.
Big time.
Yeah. So Craig, I don't want to exclude Craig, because Craig is probably the most knowledgeable person in the room right now.
Yeah, I don't know about that part. Yeah, I mean, it's a complete team that I think deserves a shot to prove themselves on national level even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, complete team, special teams, defense. Oh, like they're all clicking.
Hopefully they can stay healthy. I feel like when Jack Kelly was out,
Yeah.
you could kind of tell a little bit.
Well, I think based on our convos that we've been having, like this bye week was very much needed.
Yeah.
And guys are in a position where I think it'll benefit them going forward and shouldn't have to miss significant parts of the season. So
Crossing our fingers.
Yeah. Well, let's pivot to hoops. Like you said, this new era, and even from last year to this year, like I feel like the roster is so different. And I love what Kevin Young's doing. Like I'm all in on Kevin Young and the direction of the program. He's got it going. Like, what are you seeing? What are you excited about? What are you looking forward in this upcoming season?
I mean, top to bottom, you talk about Kevin Young, just the leadership he has. I think the tone that he's set, the trust that the guys have in him is just elite. It's top notch. And so everybody buying into what he says is important, because you got to have everybody on the same page. I mean, when you play on a team at that high level, there's tons of this year especially, but even like when I played, I mean, I remember coming over when I was a first team All-American at Salt Lake Community College, and you jump onto a team and you're like, okay, like I should be playing quite a bit. I remember my experience was like, I got there and I had a ton of like DNPs. I wasn't playing. And you kind of come to this realization that everybody's the best player from wherever they've came from. Right. And so like, I think that's no different from this season too. And so it's easy to have each guy have an agenda, right? Because they feel like they deserve this, that, or the other. But if the coach, right, in Kevin Young can really get everybody to buy in, stacking days, he has these things that all the guys talk about constantly. And I think he's got that buy-in.
Yeah.
It makes it that much easier to coach. Because if you don't have it, I mean,
your team will fracture.
Yeah. Team will fracture. So I think it starts with him, and then the ability to go out and recruit just the top talent in America, really. So
yeah, I heard one guy who does basketball kind of recruiting and analytics. He's like, I think AJ potentially is better than Flag was, and he's potentially better than some upcoming people are excited about. He's not just the best kid in his class; he might be the best kid in several classes
of like a generation.
Right? Like I heard someone like recently is like, he's basically Tracy McGrady. Like is that, you think that's too much? Or is that accurate? Like, where do you put all that?
I don't. I mean, the way just in watching AJ practice and in his games, his skill set is, I mean, like you talk about Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag was really good, but I think there's still some pieces that are missing in his game skill-wise that even AJ just has so naturally. The way he handles the ball is amazing. The length that guy has and the way he's able to manipulate that ball and move it, and it almost looks like he's carrying the ball.
Yeah.
But he has such a way with the basketball that he can manipulate it however he wants, which allows him to do a lot with it. And so AJ, I think, is what everybody has said he is, which is hard to come by. I feel like it's easy to hype people up, and then it's like it comes crashing down. But and I guess we'll find out, right? This season will be very telling. But from what I've seen, the way he shoots, the way he plays, his mental side of the game, it's what everybody says it is.
Yeah. So. Kev, what do you think? You've watched him, obviously, high school and exhibition.
Yeah.
What's your take on AJ?
I mean, he's like, scoring is what he does. Like, just a professional bucket getter. Obviously at BYU, I think one of the things that Kevin Young's talked about is him like growing outside of just like being a scorer.
Right.
And it's going to be important to help them win, because he's going to be playing the 4 this year a lot. So him having to go inside and get 7 to 10 rebounds a night, and him having to switch on the guards and switch on the bigs, and like Big 12's physical. Like we saw, BYU hasn't beat Houston yet in the Big 12 because they're the most physical team in the country.
Very athletic.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that. But as far as what he does great, like you see his, like you were talking about how he manipulates the ball, his left like hesitation move, everyone jumps. Like I think he did it like twice in North Carolina and like 2 more times against Nebraska. But he gives that little hezzy, and then he's so explosive that he can get by anyone just with a simple hesitation move, and then he's dunking on you or at the basket doing some type of crazy finish. So
Yeah. I thought it was fun to watch him play against Wilson. They were guarding each other quite a
Yeah.
bit. Another top prospect in the country for North Carolina. I thought it was fun to see those guys go against each other and see that top talent and how he did. And I thought he did pretty well. I mean, Wilson had a good game, but like it was fun to see how he stacks up with those guys and playing a top team like North Carolina. I know they're not as good as they've been in the past, but 25th as of the time.
It's a great
I think
team
right now. They're North Carolina's North Carolina. You know, they've
Right.
been good for a long time. So it was fun to see him play against Wilson and kind of get that point of view and see what that was like. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for the rest of the year too.
Kev, you talked about like his need to be versatile and adapt and not just be a scorer, be like an all-around player. And Skyler, you were talking before the podcast where we hopped on here that like you think he's humble enough to just want to win and do what's needed of him. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, just in listening to the interviews, the coaches that I've talked to, people inside the program, it's like AJ can do anything. It is like specific words from a coach is he can do anything for you. And he will do what's needed, which is nice because, yeah, it's really easy to say, hey, I want to be the guy who goes off for 40, which he could do. I mean, I don't think there is anybody who can really guard AJ one-on-one. I really don't think there is. For him to be able to, he could force things when those double teams do come. But I think AJ, from what I've heard and seen, is humble enough to say, look, if you need me to go out and just kick to people because they're queuing on me, what's nice is we're going to have a lot of weapons for him to kick to this year too. And then if you need me to go get that bucket, I'll go get that bucket. If you need me to guard the top player on the other team and
be a lockdown guy,
he can do that. He's got the length, he's got the athleticism, he's got the skill. He can do all those things at a high level, and he's willing to do it. Because, I mean, there may be many nights where we've seen last year, like Richie could be the guy who gets 20 or 30, and AJ, maybe he has 15, 18, but he probably also is going to have
some steals, some blocks,
3 or 4 steals, couple blocks. He's going to have probably plenty of assists to go along with that. I mean, I don't know, but I would love to see AJ because we talked a little bit about before we hopped on here too about the point guard position, and I saw in the alumni event they had AJ playing a little bit of point guard at times, and he
played point.
Yeah, so I'm
all
like,
the exhibition
did he?
games.
So yeah, I mean he could do that, and I mean you talk about like triple doubles. I mean we saw Kyle do it when I played, right?
Yeah.
And Mr. Triple Double, but like AJ and the way he can score, the way he can how athletic he is, like he could easily be a triple double guy.
Yeah,
with guys like Richie spotting up, who people are going to cue on AJ. They're going to have to do something to stop him.
Yeah,
whether it's double team, sending more help, but that's going to leave guys like Richie open.
Yeah,
and a couple of these other guys that they brought in, hopefully that can fill that spot with that 3-point line. But yeah, I could see him being that guy as well. He could be your 30-point scorer like he was with Nebraska, and can't remember how many he had against North Carolina, but
18 and 7 or something is what he had against North Carolina.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, I think he could be that guy to do whatever it is you need.
Right. Craig, do you have any quick input or thoughts on this whole, AJ discussion here, what you're expecting to see from him, what he could do, what he can do? So I know you're a big hoops guy too.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what has been said. There's a lot that you can go into, but yeah, I mean that, as Kevin has said, more of that complete player.
Yeah.
I know it's exhibition, and he's probably not going to be trying the fullest, but maybe a little bit better body language, more kind of emphasis on the defensive end. Just watching him off ball was a little bit, but you can critique anything, but I'm sure he's going to grow a lot, and just looking especially at those things.
And I feel like Kevin Young has coached the best players in the country, And whatever he feels like he needs, like he's going to have Kevin Young there to like step him up, his game and like help him level up on that. Do you think like that was a big reason why we got AJ here, was Kevin's ability to coach like that?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, just like AJ, I feel like knows, he's like, okay, he coached Kevin Durant, Devin Booker with the Suns. He's been with those guys. They trust him. And it comes back to kind of that piece where I think Kevin Young is, so important in all this, just because it's going to happen. It happens every year where some game goes sideways a little bit, or some stretch where maybe you don't. And even for guys like AJ, the best of the best go through those experiences. It's sports. And so like, if you have a coach that you trust because he's been there, he's done it forever, decades, right? Like he has that experience. He knows what those players need. And if they'll trust him, then they get back on the right track quicker. And so I think that's where Kevin, that trust that he has with those players is going to be crucial, because like where you get sideways in a season and things aren't going quite right, that can last for a game or two, or it can last for half a season. Like if it doesn't get under control. So I think Kevin Young's absolutely pivotal for the program.
You even saw it last year, like I guess Jaeger Joman, I guess that was new.
Yeah, that was new to me too. When I was watching him playing with Brooklyn recently, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's I guess
that's how you say it.
Yeah, I guess that's how you actually say it. But like he went like the 0 for 30 stretch at the beginning of conference play. It kind of felt like things were slipping, but like Kevin Young, like eventually he figured it out. Like they didn't really know what their identity was offensively, I think. And then once they figured it out and they started playing faster, helped Jaeger out because it was just a lot more break, like the push ahead passes. That also helped Richie get going because he's elite scoring in transition too. Yeah. So like they started maximizing the strengths of the roster. And so like, what we've seen in exhibition play has not been like perfect. I would say like and it's like, oh wait, why like this? There's so much talent all over the floor, and it's like, wait, why do we look disjointed? It's like, okay, that's gonna happen, especially with 8 new guys.
Yeah, all for the first time on the same team. Yeah,
like it's not gonna be perfect right away, but like Kevin Young has shown in the NBA and at BYU in his first year that like just give him time, give him the staff time, and they'll figure out how to maximize AJ. They'll figure out how to maximize Rob Wright, Richie, like all those guys. Like it's gonna take time, but they build for March. They don't.
I was just gonna say the same thing. You got to peak at the right time. It really the beginning is like, okay, you got to get some wins here and there, get you into the tournament. But I think last year was a good example of them peaking at the right time. They played well enough to
those last few games of the regular season. It was like kind of felt unstoppable.
Yeah. And then Alabama just had to go berserk.
Yeah.
Shooting the ball in the tournament, but
like setting records from three.
Yeah.
Which happens. But I think, peaking, like you said, just he knows how to get them right, peaking at the right time. Yeah.
Like, and it's the NBA in him where obviously it's a shorter season. It's only 30 something games, but like who you are as an NBA team in the first 40 games is not indicative of who you are the last 40. And so the first 40, you're playing 12 guys a night, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And then it's that last like half of the season where like teams turn the corner, they figure out who they are. And so, we saw that at the same time, like the last 14 games this season, I think they went like 10-4, 11-3. So I expect the same thing this season as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think the NBA and college basketball are so different that it almost took Kevin a little bit of time to figure out how to use his players? And I don't know if that's like what everyone's shooting threes and layups right now, or, like there's all the analytics, or there's different, I don't know what the difference. I'm not a hoops guy. Do you think that maybe there was a little bit of a learning curve for him on how to do that? And if so, like, what did you see, like that curve? What did he figure out?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of learning curves. I think just
life is that way.
Coming into a new program, right? And you're putting together a new team. You look at the NBA and how long he was with the Suns and how long players stay, right? You do have trades here and there. And so I think you have a lot more continuity in the NBA where things become so systematized with the players you have that it's just so dialed in that to what you were saying before, Kevin. It's just like when you come into this new system and a new program and new players, it just takes time to dial in that system, right? And figure out what's going to work with the guys you have. And so I think that maybe was a difference in the NBA to the college program in that sense. And then, I mean, you're dealing with the NBA's guys who are playing basketball. That's all they do.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe this isn't true. I don't know. Maybe BYU guys don't have to go to school anymore, but
when you were there, at least.
No, but like, no, I'm kidding. But like, yeah, it's just like these kids are going to school. They have lives too, where they're trying to be social in some way or another. And I know the game's changed a little bit with NIL, but like, still, I mean, they're in college still.
Yeah.
So I think there's an aspect of that, trying to maintain emotions, hopes, desires, dreams, goals. Whereas the NBA, it's like you're there, like you're making all the money. You've made it to the NBA. That's been your life goal and dream. And so I think that's kind of takes a little bit of getting used to and trying to figure out these players, because they're trying to get there, right, to the NBA. And so you have to figure out those agendas and those goals and make sure everybody's on the same page. So, yeah, I would imagine it took a lot. So, which makes it, to me, even more impressive what he's been able to do.
He's obviously masterful at what he does, because like you said, like that last 14 games or whatever, it really did feel like we were like unstoppable.
Well, and like he talked about too, like I feel like there's a lot of like NBA actions that they were trying to run early in the season, but because in college you're just allowed to be so much more physical.
Yeah.
Well,
it varies from night to night. What's a foul?
Well, and the physicality of it too. That's another thing from the NBA too. I mean, look at guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo when they were first in the league and how skinny he was, and now how he's built, right? And you look at all these guys who, that's their job. Like I'm sure Yegor. I mean, that was an issue with Yegor. He was he had a hard time with physicality, right? Like, but you'll watch over the years, he's gonna get stronger, he's gonna get bigger, and he's gonna get it. He has the raw ability. Yegor does. Yeah, and that's what everybody's seen. That's why he got drafted so high. Is that's that potential? But Kevin Young's working with that potential, not that end product,
not the finished result,
right? Yeah. Where that's what normally you're working with in the NBA is more of a finished product, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. What kind of action specifically, Kev? Like, what do you see? And because I know Skyler can compound on this, like, what do you see like works in the NBA that doesn't necessarily work in college, and like maybe why?
Well, I feel like how they were running like their like Spain or snap actions, right? Like, I feel like those early on in the season, I don't know if it was just like the timing and the personnel that they were doing it with that was the problem, but I feel like that really wasn't working, like all of the 3-man stuff that they were trying to do. And I think like Dallin had probably never done that in his life either, so it probably took him, like we keep saying, it took them like half a season to all figure it out. But like college is a lot more like zoom and motion offense and a lot less like sets, I feel like, than the NBA. And so, you know, I think they were just they kept trying to figure out ways to get it done, but eventually they figured out the like down and foos, like just the like nobody in the corner, just the pick and roll on the wing for them worked. And so they just hammered that. And then like Richie coming off the handoffs, like the zooms and all the other stuff that they would do for him. Like, I think they figured out like what exactly to run for the personnel that they had, right? And like with Snap especially, like that's his favorite play. Like, we're Suns fans, so we watched Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton run that play 20 times a game. Yeah. Right? So we know how it's supposed to look, and it just didn't look that way. And I think it's just because you're able to be so much more physical with the screeners and like coming around and like chasing shooters and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what I've enjoyed seeing is the fact that in college the 3-point line keeps moving back, like creates more spacing for everybody. Right. And that's what you see a lot in the NBA is that 3-point line from so far out, guys spaced out to where the NBA is, I feel like, known just to be a little bit more one-on-one, right? Yeah. Those guys are just masters at their craft. So it's like they have a certain situation one-on-one. They know, and then the data and analytics backs it all up. Is it's like, that's a good place. Okay, we've got Kevin Durant guarded by this guy, go for it. It's like that is an automatic mismatch. Yeah. And I think we've tried to get those as well, where we try and find automatic mismatches. But I just think in college basketball, it comes back to like there's not that big of a maybe discrepancy yet but we could see, I think, a little bit of that with AJ. Because I
This
think
year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
AJ is more to that point where he could get him in that spot and just let him do whatever he wants, type of
Mm.
thing. And he'll find a way to, whether it's, and it's not always scoring. He'll just make the right play
Yeah.
and put the ball in the right position to make the right play, whether it's a kick to somebody on the perimeter, whether it's a
Drawing doubles.
yeah, whether it's a lob to Keba, whether it's him going and finishing at the basket. So I think that's where maybe there's some parallels. I mean, AJ's, a lot of people already know, is just he's already NBA ready.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what you'll get to see a little bit of it with them, is maybe some of these actions.
Mhm.
I don't know, Snap or Spain specifically, if that would be what they'll use. I'm sure they will.
I think
But yeah,
the one that and they run it all the time too. Like you'll always see if you see Kevin Young tap on his elbow, he's calling elbow, and so basically the point guard has a ball, and they'll run the cross screen to get AJ with some momentum and try and get like a guy closing out. So they would run that in the NBA, but they would run that at the elbow for like Booker or Durant.
yeah.
But last year they ran it for Richie and I'm blanking on who else they ran. Probably Yegor too. Those two specifically. But they would run it at the 3-point line. And so I'm interested to see, like, we saw them run it at the 3-point line in the exhibition games, but I'm interested to see if they'll try and get AJ on the elbow, you know, because it's pretty easy because you catch the ball. And if you're open, you take the 15-footer. If the guy trails, you have the driving lane. And then, like, worst case scenario, it's AJ 15 feet away from the basket, ISO.
And he's so
Like,
good with his back to the basket too.
Yeah.
And he uses his body so well.
That's the best part of his game, I feel like.
The post moves.
Yeah, like when he has his back to the basket,
Wow.
he's really effective. I mean, he's really effective on the perimeter, attacking somebody downhill too.
Yeah,
right.
There's a lot of spots, but I think what you're saying, you know, with elbow and just putting him in isolation, you know, we called it we'd put him, you know, we put Kyle at the elbow
Right.
and let Kyle go to work, or Ty Haas go to work, like at the elbow there.
Two mid-range guys.
Yeah. And AJ's a mid-range juggernaut himself. Like he'll be another one of those guys where Richie's fantastic. And you know, and that guy just can't miss. It's amazing to watch him just in practice shoot. It's incredible. But like I don't know if that back down is quite to the level that AJ's at. So like
no, he's
putting
different.
AJ in that position will be, I think it'll be effective. So some of those like options, I think that maybe we couldn't quite get to last year, you'll be able to have some of those options, a little bit more versatility with AJ there.
I think it'll look a lot more NBA this year with a guy like AJ, because last year they just didn't have the one-on-one scorer. Like, because Richie's good, but he's like, and this was what makes him great, is he's so like 0.5. Like if he catches a ball, he knows exactly what he's doing, whether it's shooting, it's attacking a closeout in two dribbles and shooting his floater, or just like making the next pass.
Yeah,
like that's what he's great at.
Yeah, his motor's like 10 out of 10. Like the dude is flying all over the floor, flying to get off ball screens, off down screens. Like he's always like, he began as the energy guy, like, oh, you know, the glue guy, but now he's like one of the main guys, right? Scoring wise. But he hasn't lost that energy, you know, skill that he has, like that he's able to fly around, and that shot release has just gotten better and better and better and quicker and quicker and quicker. And that's going to be really helpful. But yeah, like he's not quite that like one-on-one guy that's just going to take somebody. He's really good off the bounce, attacking gaps and protecting the ball and taking contact. He's really great at that and finishing at the basket. I just think him and AJ will complement each other so well, I think, with their skill sets.
I think it was pretty important that we got Richie back, because I know he was looking at opportunities to go play professionally.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's a really important piece for this season?
Oh my goodness. Crucial. I mean, if we didn't have Richie, I mean, we'd go find somebody, but I don't think you're going to find somebody as good as Richie for our team. Like the way that he works, the leadership skills that he has, that spills over. Like those, some of those things that don't show up on a stat sheet. Just like, and I watched an interview of AJ the other day. He was talking about his different teammates, and when they came and asked him about Richie, they just said like, he's the guy that leads by example, and you need that guy. Like he goes out. He's not always just like telling people what to do.
Right.
He does it and stays after, puts in extra work. He's doing the things that the coaches are asking. He just, you know, he's the energy guy. Like he's giving everything. He's not taking a play off. And if you're guy, which I would say Richie is, like he's one of the guys, him and AJ are basically the leaders of the team, I would say. When he's doing that, everybody else is going to follow. So
yeah. I felt like my guy Trevin Nell was kind of that vocal leader last year, down a little bit at times too, you could see, but Trevin I felt like was really that vet, that vocal leader. Do you think that's going to be AJ this year? Or like, do you need a guy who's actually a vocal leader, or can everybody just buy in and the culture and the team? Like, I don't know. That's my question on that.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a vocal leader, personally. And I'm trying to, and you're, I'm sitting here thinking about the guys that they have right now. And we talked about earlier before we hopped on of who's coming back, right? Like there's so many new guys, and who's going to be that guy that steps up? I think it could be AJ. I've already seen Richie do more of that. Like even just in, when I was at the alumni event and watched him practice, like he's over there, he's talking to people, he's coaching people up as well. So, and vocal leader, I think it could come out as like maybe like the guy who's like yelling like "let's go," or is it the guy who's just being vocal and directing
the coach
things?
on the floor?
The coach on the floor. I'm interested to see Moo. I'm kind of excited about Moo. I think he could be a really important piece from that leadership position. Just in having one conversation with him at the alumni day, and just and just watching him in some of the exhibition games too, like you see a little bit of that energy, a little bit of that, like, he reminds me of like my old teammate Anson Winder.
Oh, bro, I loved Anson.
Anson's the man. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of him, like a humble, quiet, like guy, not quiet, but just like really humble, nice, well-mannered guy that you interact with. But then you see him on the floor, and you just see him like he throws down a dunk, and he's just pumped. Like he has that energy and passion for the game. Sometimes you need like that energy on your bench. You need somebody yelling, getting everybody kind of excited, getting the crowd up, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be that guy. I saw that like a couple glimpses of that in the exhibition game. Maybe that won't be a continued thing with him. But I don't know. I'm interested to see how that goes with him.
Dude, I just loved to watch Trev last year, because if you paid attention, and maybe you had enough contact with the team, you got to see this up close, but on TV or he was just always talking. You know what I mean? Like to the defenders, like whoever, like he was always talking. And Trey would talk a little bit too. Yeah, Craig?
Yeah, I think Trevin Nell was the most like fought or scuffled player on BYU in the last couple of years. So I think it'll be AJ this year.
Oh, dude.
He likes to talk.
And he can back it up.
He does like to talk.
And he can back it up.
I don't know if trash talking is a leadership quality, but he likes to talk some trash.
But there's a little bit of like that's good for you, I think.
Yeah,
too.
I agree.
Yeah, a lot of times that's what guys need to get them going. Like a little bit of competitive.
Not to pivot all the way back to football.
Yeah.
But Trey Alexander, who does a weekly podcast in here with us, like that 100% is a major part. Yeah, he's number one corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's a major part of his game. And if you watch him carefully during the games, you'll see it happening.
He's going.
And he's going. And he almost is like waiting until they say it back. And then he's like, oh, okay, now it's on.
We're game.
Yeah. It's like a part of his game, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
it is, though. I think it truly is. It's a mental part of the game that gets athletes going, I think, sometimes in a really positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's super cool. So what's the main thing as we roll into the regular season that you're going to be watching for early on? Is it this kind of how we use guys? Is it personnel rotation of players, see where they fit? Like what are the main things, like, Dr. Skyler Halford, hoops expert? Like, what are you going to be looking for?
No, yeah, I think it's just how they mesh together. Like, I think it's one thing to watch them in a practice. It's one thing to watch them in. I feel like that first exhibition game, I didn't get to see a whole lot of it, but exhibitions are just they're just different. Once it counts, once your record's on the line, it's just a different thing. So it'll be interesting to see how they mesh together. Can they gel well? Like I'm hoping and thinking they will. Like I talked about with AJ's humility and Coach Young's leadership, and how fast can they find that identity and have it stay true.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see how it all comes together, because they're so talented. They have so much talent on that team. What do the guys do that are the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, positions? What do those guys do? Are those guys going sideways? Because, you've got your starting 5, but I can promise you that starting 5 is not going to win you a national championship.
Right.
They're going to be a huge piece of the puzzle. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, very, very important. But in every sport, right, there's always unsung heroes that
for sure.
show up. And so I think like seeing who are those, guys off the bench, 7, 8, 9, 10, and how do they stay locked in? Or when their time comes that Coach Young is needing somebody because the starters or the regular guys aren't able to produce, who are those guys? Have they stayed locked in when they do step in? Are they going to hit those big shots? Are they going to make those big plays that's going to allow us to be, instead of I don't know, 6, 7, 8 seed, turning into a 4, 3, 2, 1?
I'll take
might
it.
I say?
I'll take it.
But yeah, I just think that like it'll be interesting to see. We can talk. It's really easy to talk about AJ. It's really easy to talk about Richie. It's really easy to talk about Rob Wright. It's really, these guys that are proven, right? Have been in the program, have been in other programs, have done really well. But what about, the guys like Moo? What about guys like Mrus? What about guys like Kostic? What about guys like, Boscovich, even from last year? Like, what are those guys? Like what are those guys exactly? Like
Boop,
exactly
Boop
too. Yeah.
games.
I mean, I bet we could keep going. Like
We can.
we
can.
That roster's so deep,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, who shows up, who stays locked in, because it's hard. It's not easy to stay locked in all year long when because I guarantee you those guys because I've been there. Like I guarantee you those guys at 7, 8, 9, 10, they all feel like they could be in the starting 5, which they could be right. I mean, and for maybe other programs in the Big 12 too. So it's like, can you stay locked into when your number's called? You can help the team win so everybody benefits from it. That's always interesting to watch as the season progresses.
Who were those guys on your roster? Because you had you and Kyle and Anson and Ty.
Chase Fisher.
Chase was a good shooter too.
Yeah, he was a knockdown shooter.
Was Craig Cusick with you guys?
No, he was before us. We had Matt
you.
Carlino my junior year, but then Matt left to Marquette my senior year. We had my junior year, we had like Dalton Nixon, Jake Toulson. We had those guys before they left on missions and stuff, and then Eric Mika before he left.
He was a
his
young
mission.
Eric Mika.
Yeah, the young Eric Mika, and then, but yeah, like it was, I like even my junior year, like I told you, I didn't play a lot like the first little while, and then had my first start, had 28 points against San Diego. And then at the end of the year, I wasn't playing as much. I was coming off the bench. And then the next year I was a 6th man, and that was a perfect role for me. But like, it was, like for me, I learned that, like in order to do well, you've got to be able to be happy for people ahead of you, wanting them to succeed. And I could go into a whole bunch of things from the mental side and what Dr. Manning taught me when I was there, but it's just like the natural instinct, I think of it as a player, you want to play, you want to get into the game. So you're kind of like, I would be sitting there like, oh, like just this, it's embarrassing almost to say it, but like, I'm sure this has happened to other players too, where you're like, you kind of want the guy ahead of you. Like, ooh, if he misses that, then I'll probably go.
Then I get a shot.
But what I learned is that just ingrains that negative action in your mind. So like, if you're thinking, oh, I want him to miss, your brain just says, that's what I'm supposed to do, is I'm supposed to miss. And so you go in there and end up doing the same thing. But what I learned is like, as you strive and help, you want them to perform well, it kind of ingrains it in you. Because we talked about superstition before, right? You really don't ultimately have control over whether they're going to make it or miss. But yeah, I mean, it's so I'm kind of going off, but on your question, there were guys like that where it's like, and I was one of them where, you weren't sure. Like, I mean, me, Anson, and then I feel like me and Anson and Matt Carlino, like we kind of were. Frank Bartley was of that era. Frank Bartley is just balling out, by the way, professionally overseas. Shout out to Frank. But like, it was just, you had those guys and that all could play, right?
Yeah.
All were really talented and skilled, but there's only 5 guys on the floor. So it's like, how do you manage that as a player? And then how does the coach help manage that too? So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Kev, you were going to say something about this? Or maybe you were going to change topic. Cut you off a little bit.
I mean, there's a lot of things we could go into. I think back to like the original question, like I'm interested to see what the shot like profiles are for every guy. Like, and it'll change obviously, but like I think there'll be games where Richie takes like 7 shots and we're like, wait, that should never happen. Right? Like he should always get his like 12 to 15 or whatever, and AJ will always get his 12 to 15. And it's like, well, there will be games where everyone just stays attached to Richie and AJ, and it's like, well, then it comes down to the 2-man game with Rob Wright and Keba. And so, like, just kind of how the shot,
that's
the
really
shot
interesting
profiles go.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Richie, by halfway through last season, knew he was going to get 15 shots a game. He knew exactly where they were coming from. But, like, now he's no longer the first option. And because he's Richie, he's not going to have the ball in his hands even the second amount. Like, it'll still be Rob Wright with the ball more, just, like, handling it. And so, if they can still figure out how to get Richie, like,
production out of that.
Production and still, like, doing everything that he's great at, as well as, like, everything, I think that's the key to them being, like really hitting their ceiling, is if they can get Richie and AJ and Rob Wright, like, all doing what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that happens, because I think it will happen, like, that's when this team will go from, like, solid top 25 team to a 3, a 2, or a 1 seed type team in the tournament. So that, I mean, if that's what I'm watching for, and then just defense overall, like, that's been the weakness. And, like, against Nebraska, it didn't look great. North Carolina, it looked better. But, like, defensively, does this team buy in? Because if they do, they could be elite. But if they're,
having to win a shootout every night.
Yeah, I think they have the potential, though. Like, the athleticism we have with this team is, like, beyond what I ever remember as BYU ever having, and that's, I feel like, beyond.
Yeah.
Like, and being able to be that athletic and that long, like, you have every, like, quality you need to be a top 10 defensive team.
Yeah.
I think, but
yeah,
we'll see. Well, yeah, like, we'll see if there's that buy-in, because it's the defensive end isn't just skill and ability, it's buy-in,
right?
It's will, it's like
it's a choice.
It's
mental,
a choice. Like, yeah, are you going to do it?
It's just like mentally, like, I have to make sure I'm in the right spot wherever the ball is on the floor for 30 seconds. And that's hard. Like, even in the NBA, guys can't do that for, 24 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So to have to do that for, like, an entire 30 seconds, it's just hard. And especially for, a team that is coming together, like we keep saying, like, it's hard to build that continuity, because you'll see, 2 guys run out at a shooter, and then it's like, well, the whole defensive possession is done for. If you,
right.
you
How
just
disciplined can they be, right? And the scouts that are taught to them, because Coach Young, I promise you, the coaching staff will have them ready.
Yeah.
But, like, how disciplined will they be?
It's just mentally, I think, just having to be in the right spot, and that's a lot harder than in.
No, I believe it. I believe it. Craig, what do you be looking for, man? As this all rolls out, gets going here.
I know, just the connectivity that we saw from last year's team, that the guys were together, and you could see that.
Yeah.
It was fluid. And yeah, definitely just continuing that, and kind of getting together as that unit that kind of shows what BYU is supposed to be.
Yeah. I'm watching those rotations, kind of like you talked about, like who's can step up and do whatever they're needed of them that are outside of those top 5. How much are we going to use them? How are we going to use them?
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I mean, it's almost like you drafted like a whole new team almost in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's like a rebuild.
Yeah.
You got Richie back, you got Dawson back, but everyone else is kind of new. So it'll be fun to see everybody out there doing their thing.
Yeah. It'll be a really fun. Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, last kind of convo here. We could go for hours more on this stuff, but like Big 12 teams, Kev, who do you think are, like, obviously Houston is like the team to beat. If you can show out against Houston, I think that's a good indicator. Who else are you looking at in the Big 12, Kev?
Texas Tech, obviously.
Had a great run in the tournament.
I think Arizona is going to be really good. They're very similar to BYU, where they kind of have the vets, but then they are bringing in 3 5-star freshmen, guys that AJ's played with on the USA 18 team. I think they're going to be really good. And, I mean, I think Kansas is going to be – I personally wasn't a big Hunter Dickinson fan. I think they're going to be miles better this year.
Really?
Yeah, they got – what's his name? The kid who's Peterson, Darren Peterson?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah, he's like moved up on the mock draft boards as being the number 1 pick now from what I saw recently. But, that's just hearsay, whatever. Anyway.
It's him or AJ. Like that's what we know. It's one of those two guys.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
And he, in his first exhibition game, was like 6 for 10 from three, sharpshooter.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
be interesting to see how the Kansas does with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like potentially the best roster we've ever had at BYU. This is all potential preseason talk, right? But also going probably potentially against some of the best teams we've ever had on the schedule.
For sure.
Like, I don't know, man. It's just like, is it surreal as Cougar fans for all of us to sit here and like,
It is kind of surreal, huh?
we got like a top 10 defense in football and like got this phenomenal freshman quarterback showing out. And
I know I keep saying
Like,
like
how-
the
it's
football
real.
teams proved themselves, right? Like
Yeah.
they're like here 8-0. BYU just gets a number 8 ranking right out of the gates. I'm like, I really hope we can stay with that, right? We haven't played a single real game yet. I mean, but I'm confident that they can be. So
yeah, well, at least for the football team, we've been like dogs from Vegas in almost every
Yeah.
game we've played.
yeah,
I don't think
So-
that'll be us this year.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Not with everyone they have on the team.
Dude, Sky, before we cut out here, dude,
Yeah.
how can we help you, follow you, support
Oh, yeah.
you? Like, is there social media? We have, there's a lot of CougConnect people these days. It continues to grow and grow.
nice.
Or where can we send the future ballers of America to get, trained up for you? And then you
Oh,
can kind
yeah.
of put BYU in their ear and
Oh,
maybe-
absolutely.
send
We
them that
hang
way.
up all the BYU stuff, give them a BYU, magnet to put on the fridge.
yeah, yeah, all the goodies.
Yeah, so I mean, Halford Hoops is our company, our business. We not only do we help young athletes 1st grade through 12th grade in both. We train in Pleasant Grove as well as Mapleton and Springville, but we also have our physical therapy clinic. So we work with youth athletes as well as adult athletes. Up in Highland, we have an office. We have another one down in Mapleton. So we're always having first session for basketball is free. So if you've never been, come to a free session, and then we do free discovery calls to figure out what people's injuries are and if they're a good fit. And yeah, we've been able to help a lot of people over the last 4 years in starting the PT side of things. So we're always here to help. That's the goal, is to help as many people as we can. So
That's cool.
you can check us out online. Yeah, halfordhoops.com, on all social medias at Halford Hoops. So yeah, check us out.
Dude, that's awesome. So go do that. If you're a subscriber, right? You always are asking like, well, what businesses support, what to do this, because you're looking at the NIL give back there, but you got a former Cougar athlete here, helping us create content, break it down, an insider right there. So go support him, help him out. Final thoughts, last words, shout outs before we close this out from anyone?
We haven't talked enough about Rob Wright. What are you expecting to see from him?
We talk about like if somebody takes away AJ and Richie, Rob Wright is capable.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
He is capable. Like we have not talked, like to the point where what he's able to do. I made a post the other day on actually social media on my story, and I said, young players, watch Rob Wright play this year, study, and you will learn a lot. I think he can be really effective. I mean, he's very, very gifted, talented with the ball, and he's a scoring point guard too.
He can step back or drive or mid
can
or
do-
finish of the
he can
contact.
Excellent driving to the basket, excellent touch finishing, even though he's a little bit smaller size wise. I mean, he's not terribly small, but he'll be a huge asset for the team if they need that option to score as well. Like
Right.
if somebody's not having a great game, Rob can take over. So
Yeah.
I know. I
It's
was
so
just gonna
crazy.
say.
It's so
I was just gonna
crazy.
say we could keep talking. There's more guys too. It's just
Yes.
like
Yeah.
we
Kevin-
talk about AJ and Richie so much, but
Kevin Young's best offense that ever looked was with Chris Paul. And like Rob Wright is not Chris Paul, obviously, but you cannot find a more like kind of similar, like what he can do with the ball, like how he kind of gets into the lane and like uses his body and creates space than Rob Wright as far as college basketball goes. So like Kevin Young can coach point guards.
Yeah.
And Rob Wright is going to do some crazy, crazy things. And my big thing is like he can score, but if the way this BYU team works the best is if he's averaging 6-7 assists a game, and then it's like the offense will come that much easier to him, which is scary because he can.
because he's a scoring threat and he can do that, then
Yeah.
it opens up other things for everybody else too. He's not just a
Yes.
guy coming off where he's just probing in the lane looking for
Yeah.
people. It's like, if you back off of me, I'm going to hit this floater really
Yes, his
easily.
flow game is so
And
good.
so I think that'll be, to your point of having those assists, he'll be able to have those because he's such a scoring threat. And
Yeah.
it is a matchup nightmare, I think, for some teams potentially. BYU could be for other teams is really tough when you've got Rob, AJ, and Richie, and then you've got Cabo rolling to the rim who can catch a ball out of midair from
And
anywhere.
dunk.
He's gonna score. He might be like, I don't know, our like second or third leading scorer possibly, just because everyone's gonna drive, and he's just gonna score
benefit from that.
12 to 14 points a game, just tipping
the ball in.
just tipping the ball. And I mean, that's what he's done in the exhibition game so far, or just lobs, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, he can score 12 points a game just following misses.
Cleanup
I know.
duty.
I'm
How is
so
this real?
excited
How is
about it
this
all
real?
because like the roll game there is such a threat where you got to cover that, and if you
Yes.
don't, I mean, there's just people.
It
that are
fits
gonna be
so
left.
perfectly, right?
It feels like
That's what is awesome about this team is like, it's not like they just went out and got a bunch of guys that are talented,
like
but
these
it's
are all
like
good players.
it's how
Like,
they're all supposed to fit together. That's like what has me super, super excited.
and it also
this
has
season.
me worried.
really. Tell
Just
me.
because it's like on paper, everything
on-
seems perfect,
Never-
perfect, you know,
nothing
and that's
has
where
ever-
it's like,
Can it
okay,
really
when the
be this
rubber hits
good?
the road,
Yeah.
what really happens? So it's those other things we talked about, like, are people going to gel? Are
Yep.
people going to buy in? Are they going to, it's because all of that can hurt you too. So it's like on paper, I
Yes.
feel really confident and happy and excited about this team. I'm just like,
dude,
the season will tell. I'm confident and I'm excited
dude,
about
like
it.
with football, I feel like I can sit down with you, Kev, and give you a pretty good estimate of how we'll be in football. Like
Yeah.
I think we'll be, contending for the Big 12 championship beforehand, or, I think our defense is going to be better. I told you before the season, our defense is going to be better than it was last year. No one believed me because like, oh, we lose Jacob Robinson and Tyler Batty and, like all these guys, which we miss those guys, right? But I'm telling you, it's going to be better. And I feel like I can tell. The other thing I told you is our run game is going to take up a huge step up year 2 with TJ Woods. With hoops, I feel like I'm in the dark. Like I see all the star power and I see all the things, and like I almost don't want to get too excited because I can't see the pitfalls as like more of a casual fan. Like
Even
but it's
people who are in it
exciting.
can't see it. It's just hard. You just hope that everything on paper works out.
Right. Like last year's team, what it was supposed to look like is not how it ended up.
Yeah.
Right? Like Moet Mag was not supposed to be our starting four.
Right?
season.
Mag was a perfect example of a guy who just stepped up and like, wow, okay, we needed him.
It's
Situations.
25 to 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just clear when he did play, like they were just a different team.
Right.
And obviously like Cannon was way more talented, but it just didn't work here. But like going into the season, it was supposed to be Yegor, Cannon, Richie, and like it was supposed to be the big three, and Dallin Hall too. Like it was supposed to be those four guys in the starting lineup, and we had Dallin and Cannon like ultimately had to move to the bench just for the benefit of the team. So it's not going to work exactly on paper, but there's enough in the locker room that no matter how it works out, like
There's enough
find a way.
pieces to put.
There's enough pieces that if they can all buy in, Coach Young will find a way to put a good product.
And he's got
out
that
there.
NBA staff essentially too. Like it's, dude, I don't know how we got here.
I know, right?
We went from 6th in the WCC to like one of the favorites in the Big 12 and
Sweet 16.
I remember all the years being like, oh, can we get 2 teams or 3 teams in for the WCC? Can we get someone besides Gonzaga?
I've been there. We're in the championship against Gonzaga and we lose, and I'm like, oh no, we might not get in.
Yeah.
Luckily, we did get in the tournament, but still, it's like, you go from that to you're playing these NCAA tournaments every night.
Yeah.
These
In
games
the Big 12.
in the Big 12.
So crazy. Well, I really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me. It
Been
was
in your
fun.
evening with us. Kevin, Craig, you guys are awesome. You've just ramped up this podcast, made it so much better. Appreciate having you guys on. And to all the people out there watching, thanks for tuning in. It's something close to 60,000 people since July or so have tuned into this thing. Different, unique people. Somehow only 2,500 of you have hit subscribe. So go ahead, hit subscribe. And if you want to support the program, support the players and all that stuff, go to CougConnect.com and figure that out. But I think that's all we got tonight, right, Craig?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if Craig says it's over, then it's over. That's all we got. Go Cougs. Peace.